I'm pleased to be joined by the Caveman David Rickles, who is getting ready to fight August the 24th at Bellator 225 against Yaroslav Amosov. I believe I said that correctly. It's quite a tongue twister. How are you,
Pretty
Caveman?
close. You're pretty close.
It
took me about 2 weeks to figure out how to say his name, but I think I'm good now.
Good. Well, it's going to take me a little while longer, I take it. Now, I can't wait to see you back in the cage. You're coming off a very exciting performance. Glad to see you back in the win column again. Before we get into talking about the fight, one thing I'm really excited to see is what your walkout theme is going to be. I love the mannequin challenge.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I was blown away when I actually saw it. Do you think that was your most impressive walkout theme? And can you give us a hint of what it's going to look like at Bellator 225?
Well, I'll give you my hint right now. If you've been watching MMA for a minute, you'll know instantly what I'm doing. If you have not been watching MMA for very long, you're gonna go, "What the fuck is going on?" So. It'll be awesome, though. I'm super excited because it's something that it's kind of like a special walkout for me. It's like kind of a tribute to somebody I really love in the game. So
very cool. Okay, well, I appreciate the hint. That gives me something to ponder. We still are a couple weeks away from the big night, so I'll have to do some digging and some research.
Right.
You really are a phenomenal entertainer. And it just seems like nowadays, like in MMA, when you look around, you're seeing a lot of people kind of finding their shtick and their kind of, you look at Colby Covington, for example.
Right, yeah.
Conor McGregor, like they all have like something that they do to kind of separate themselves. Do you envision yourself maybe moving on into the WWE when your MMA career is all said and done?
I've never envisioned it, never really thought about it, but you know, as you can see from my last walkout, the Stone Cold Steve Austin tribute, WWE, WWF, when I was watching it, was a huge influence on my life. It kind of, I watched WWF before I watched what ended up being Pride Fighting at that time. I didn't even really watch UFC. So a good friend of mine from Japan put me on to Pride Fighting, and man, just like, the entertainment level of those two organizations were amazing to me. And I'm like, oh, but these guys are really fighting. Like, these dudes over at Pride are like actually fighting. So I kind of fell in love with that aspect of it. Kind of fell out of the WWF and WWE, and started doing my own thing, my own kind of shtick, as you kind of call it. You know what I mean? And it is a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just a lot of fun for me. Like, I don't understand why I shouldn't enjoy every minute from when I walk out to before or after the fight,
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean, it's infectious. You're one of the fan favorites. You're one of my favorites to watch compete and watch going down to the cage in itself. So you're just one of those guys that's must-see TV. So I'll put that little bug in your ear that maybe when you do retire from mixed martial arts, maybe hit up Vince McMahon and see if you can get a new job.
Yeah, I might do that. That'd be, I mean, shoot, like straight up to even do like one show would be amazing. Like, that'd be really cool. So
yeah. Well, I'd be hard pressed to think that he'd say no to you, especially since you actually fight realistically here, and WWE, right. I believe it's scripted. I don't know. I know a lot of people.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. It's real to me though. It's real.
Now, you really are a busy man. You got a lot going on. You have your own promotion that you run, EFC Evolution Fighting Championship. You have a show coming up, I believe, in October. Is that correct?
October 19th, yeah. We just finished up a show a couple weeks ago, and yeah, man, I stay pretty damn busy. I got a newborn baby, right? I'm watching the newborn baby over here. Luckily, he's sleeping right now. I got food on the stove right now. I stay pretty busy, man. So, but it's cool. I need focus. I need something to do all the time. Without focus, I'm kind of a lost soul. So it kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow.
Got you. Now, your upcoming show in October, the 19th, talk a little bit about the growth of your promotion, where you're at right now, and how many people are you getting there from show to show?
We're getting anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000, and we're doing them at the Kansas Star Casino. And man, we just started doing our live shows, and we're getting anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 views on those. So things are going well. This is going to be our 13th show, so it'll be a very a lucky show or bad luck. I don't know, one of the two. But I'm excited for it. 13 shows is more than I kind of expected to do, honestly. I expected to just do, because there wasn't any real quality MMA shows around here. And we wanted to do something kind of on the higher end, you know what I'm saying? Like with the big lights and stuff like that. Like we're doing the same exact venue that Bellator was doing here. So out there at the casino, everything's really nice. We don't spare any expenses on lighting and stuff like that. So it's a good looking show. I enjoy it. Mainly because I get to match up a lot of the locals that I know personally with who I think would make, fire matchups here in the Midwest. So I get to go, hey, I want to see you fight this guy and that guy fight this guy. And, I get to make those fights.
Give me a couple of names that people might not know on a national level that could really maybe burst out and make it to Bellator or the UFC one day.
Well, he was really damn close. Just the other night, he fought for the Contender Series, but Stephen the Ninja Wynn, Dana White said a lot of really high things of him. He lost in a very competitive fight, but Stephen Wynn, Chris Harris, I promise you this name will be relevant one day. Tyler Ingram, he's a savage. He fought for Bellator one time and beat the hell out of some dude, and I don't know why they haven't called him back, but Tyler Ingram's another name you should definitely watch out for.
What weight class is he?
He fights anywhere from 55 to 70 right now. I mean, I'm sure his home would be wherever he gets picked up at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You ever invite him over to train with you to get a little work in?
Oh, yeah. We train together all the time, man. Like, he's one of my lead training partners. Actually, all those guys that Wichita's not big, man. So we have to get our talented fighter. All the talented people, they train together.
Mm-hmm. Right. I've only been to Kansas once. I was a freshman in college. I played college basketball, and we won the state tournament, and we went to the nationals. It was is it Salinas or Salinas?
Salina.
Okay. Yeah, so it was cool. It was a beautiful state. I really enjoyed my time.
Yeah. I like Wichita. I like Kansas. I grew up just south of Wichita in a really small town called Derby. Yep. I'm always repping them to the fullest whenever I go out to the fight because it's where I grew up. It's kind of who made me. So, I enjoy my city, but I'll tell you this too. I also like Miami. I also like California. I like New York. I like to travel. I liked London when I was out there. I like to get around, but this will always be home.
Yeah. Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, you're a very busy man. You got a lot going on leading up to this fight. One of your big time sponsors, who I love, by the way, I got a ton of stuff from them, is On It. I just like to get you to talk a little bit about maybe a supplement or something there that maybe you can direct me to go and buy because I'm starting to get more and more into them.
I'll tell you what I just bought for the first time. So I just copped this, and it's their new. I don't know if it's new, I'll be honest, but it's their protein, man. It's called Mexican chocolate. And I'm telling you, man, I've mixed up a lot of stuff, and this stuff, it's so damn good. It tastes like Nesquik to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like a malted chocolatey drink. Like, that's what it tastes like to me, and I love it, man. So I honestly bought it just because they're my sponsor, but now I actually love it. So I'm gonna re-up on this, but man, I use the Alpha Brain. I use the New Mood when I'm starting to get stressed out through camp and stuff like that. Like, I'll take the New Mood here and there, just to kind of even me out a little bit, get through a few days. But the Alpha Brain, I like to take it at night. I feel like I wake up a little bit sharper that next day.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to check that out.
Have you ever tried the Alpha Brain at all?
I have not. And I feel like I'm dropping the ball because I got a couple of buddies that train and fight here regionally, and they love it. They swear by it.
Yeah. No, I always notice that I can pay, a little more attention. Like my attention, I've always had ADHD and whatnot, so like it's always been hard for me to focus. Period. But it helps me out just a little bit. You know, I got a little more edge.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Now, you are on a 2-fight win streak. You just beat AJ Matthews. I'd just like to get your thoughts a little bit on the stoppage. Do you feel like it was a good stoppage?
Yeah. So like, I ended up finding out that I broke his orbital. So I think the fight, you know, I mean, it needed to be over. Basically, you know, there's no reason to continue to take punishment once your orbital is broken. That you can actually make the eye much worse. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Me and AJ were kind of buddies in a sense, you know, not like close friends or anything, but we both are Bellator OGs. We've been around forever. We've been talking about fighting for a very long time though, and kind of what I expected, man, was like a good slugfest until somebody was done, basically. So it was good to get out there. I wish I just started a little more intense. I was a little. I usually get to work a lot faster than that, and I think I was a little hesitant for whatever reason, but I turned it on and got the win.
Yeah, that's all that matters. A win's a win. That's your second in a row, as I said. You know, one thing I would like to get your thoughts on, I know you've talked a little bit about it in previous interviews and whatnot, but, you know, that loss to Michael Page, I know it was not something that you probably want to go back and think about. How did that affect you? How did you pick yourself back up and move forward?
Man, I think the only way you move forward is by thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So I avoided it for a little while and I just kind of laid it off. But man, eventually I had to tackle that, you know, and it was most painful to me because truth was I was kind of out of it. I did kind of quit in the fight. And that's just the truth of it. I had to come to that realization, like, man, like you kind of got broke. And I've never felt that in a fight in my entire life. And I think it was a lot of combination of like the training and my expectations of the fight. Like I had this expectation that I'd be able to go in there and just whip his ass. Because I wasn't like super impressed with a lot of the stuff that he had done previously. So I'm thinking I was going to go in there and be able to, you know, just beat him up basically. And he was a lot more elusive. I could see why people got frustrated, which caused me to get frustrated, which ended up with me getting cut bad. And then I was just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So it was mostly frustration that ended up making me quit. And that really helped me, man. Like, it was like one of those things like where I was like, time to figure it out. Okay. Cause you're never going to do that shit again. Like that's never happening again.
Right.
So I kind of got back. I got the fire back per se. You know what I mean? Like I had to get fired up again to get back in there because I promised myself I'd never let that happen again.
Sometimes no matter what profession you're in, it takes a setback to really get you back on track and to get pointed in the right direction. One last question about that fight. You know, you talked about, just being so frustrated with him. Was there a conditioning issue with you at all in that camp? Or was there like one big shot that he hit you with that maybe affected you to lead you down that path?
No, not really, man. Like I was very well conditioned. I was trying this. I had been like watching this whole thing with Robbie Lawler about how he wasn't doing any sparring and stuff like that. And I got this idea that would be a good thing to try while I was going into the fight with Michael Page. So I didn't really do any sparring or anything leading up to the fight. And I'm like, all right, I'll just be, I'm going to hit these mitts and I'll be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So my conditioning and everything was there, but I was just not I was not toughened up from like a hard camp. You know what I mean? And I think that's what showed.
Mm-hmm. Were you surprised to see him get knocked out like that against Lima?
Not really. I mean, goddamn, Lima is his size for one. And then two, I think Lima, he's fought too many damn people to let that hype kind of get to him. You know what I mean? Yes. And he had a good weapon. He had a good game plan. He had a very good game plan going into that fight. Kick the leg hard, and he did well. I actually was more impressed with MVP. I thought his ability to nullify. So he got taken down that first round. For him to nullify everything that he was trying to do from the top, Lima was trying to do from the top, I thought that was pretty impressive. And then, a lot of people don't talk about like that Lima was stunned directly before knocking out MVP. You know what I mean? Like he was clearly stunned by a good 1-2. And so, I don't know. It was an interesting fight for sure.
Now, before we dive into your fight, I got to get a couple fight predictions.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. Rory and Lima coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
When is that?
They haven't announced it yet.
They haven't announced it yet? Okay. They're probably waiting for somebody to heal up or something like that, But, yeah, I got to go with Lima, man. I think I don't know, just he's on fire right now. So, and he's always been super talented. He's huge for the weight class as well. And then what's his name has been talking about. Rory's been talking about how he's like losing the fire. You know what I'm saying? Right. It definitely doesn't look like Lima's losing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm going with Lima.
Okay. And Saturday night, UFC 241, who do you got, DC or Stipe?
I'd like to see Stipe win, but I don't know. DC is he's pretty dang good, man. I think DC probably wrestle him.
Okay. And the co-main, Diaz Pettis.
There's one we can talk about.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for that fight. There's not a lot of fights that I really get hyped for, and I'm pretty excited for that one. Although I think it'll be a good scrap. I think it's going to be a good scrap. Obviously, the Diaz brothers always come to scrap, but I think Pettis is going to whip his ass a little bit.
Ooh, okay. All right. I've talked to a lot of people, and everyone seems to be split on this. Some people think Diaz is going to wear him down and get him late in the fight, and a lot of people think that Pettis is just going to be able to go in there and starch him. I mean, Diaz hasn't for years, so we'll see what happens.
That's the thing, man. Like, he's been off for so long. So that's what's the big factor for influencing me and what I'm thinking. But I think he's definitely going to be game. He can wear damage really well. So I think you'll see a pretty good fight. But, man, Pettis has just been so sharp lately. Yeah. Like, even when he's lost, like, he's still looked really good.
Yeah, no doubt. Those are a couple of fights that you just don't want to miss. I'll be tuning in intently, waiting for those to start. Now, let's talk about this upcoming fight for you. Again, right around the corner, August the 24th. How's this camp been?
It's been really good. I haven't done anything crazy like cut out sparring or nothing like that. So I've been getting it in with some of those local guys I was just talking about, Tyler Ingram, Chris Harris, Stephen Wynn, Cody Carrillo. And, that's the thing about me, man, is I'm not at a big ATT camp. I'm not, out, I don't know, any of those big camps, right? I'm out here in Wichita, Kansas. But I still feel like I get really good training in. I think it's just one of those things where the Midwest is kind of overlooked a little bit. I go out to Oklahoma to do some sparring with those guys. I go up to Kansas City and Manhattan, Kansas. So I travel a little bit to get specific looks from different guys. And yeah, I don't know. I feel good, man. I feel really good. Like, I still feel like I'm improving in the game. I'm still a fighter who looks for ways to improve. So, that was one of the things I promised myself too, was like, if I'm not going to try to improve, then I'm not going to continue fighting. Like, there's no reason to do that. Like, I don't want to just skate by for paychecks. So I'm always looking to improve, and I'm looking to win.
What's your weight at right now?
I'm probably sitting at like 82, 83.
Oh, okay. So not too far to go. Do you find that the weight cuts are getting harder as you're getting older?
Shoot, not since moving to 170, man. It's been easy. Like, cutting to 70 for me is honestly like perfect. I think 65, truthfully, would be like the perfect number. But 70 is pretty easy. Like, I really don't have to diet much. I just have to eat healthy. Like, I have to eat clean. Like, I can't eat junk food or drink beer or nothing like that. So I haven't been drinking or as much as I'd love to drink. My body does not. I love beer. I'm a guy who loves a good beer, but as well as whiskey. But I can't drink during training camp because I I get fat. I get super fat like if I start to drink. So I cut all that out all the time from my training camps, and it's no fun, but it gives me a little edge.
Speaking of that, shout out to our main sponsor, the Sea Dog Brewing Company. They have some fantastic beers. So if you ever come to New England, you got to go in there and visit them. They got some phenomenal ones on tap.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. That sounds fun.
Now, your opponent, Yaroslav, he is undefeated. He's 21-0, and he just had a nice victory, a unanimous decision over Eric Silva. Were you impressed with his performance?
Yeah. Pretty impressed. He's got good grappling. I'll definitely like and good. I mean, honestly, here's the truth about him. He's pretty damn good everywhere. I think his edge, right? Everyone's got like something particularly kind of that gets them where they're at. His edge is definitely in his grappling. Like he's kind of got that like Khabib style grappling. He likes to use the tight waist, grab you around the waist and keep you stuck on the cage and beat you up with his other hand kind of thing. And he does a really good job of like mixing it up. He's just pretty well rounded. I watched his fight with Gerald Harris too, which was another skilled fighter that he beat, and I wasn't super impressed with either win. I wasn't, nothing really stood out as like, holy shit, that guy's scary. So that's why I'm like really excited to get in there, man, because 1, 2 is I just like I feel like this is a good matchup for me. So
stylistically, where do you think you hold the biggest advantage?
I think striking, like just my volume. I think my ability to push a pace could definitely come into play as a factor for the fight. But he's got good conditioning. We haven't seen him really tired or anything like that in this fight. So I'm interested to see what, an actual high-paced 3-round fight is going to be like. You know what I'm saying? So, because Eric Silva gassed pretty bad in that fight. And then Gerald Harris doesn't have a lot of volume. So I've got a lot of volume and a lot of gas tank. So let's see what's up.
That you do. One last question from me. Give us an official prediction, Caveman. How do you see yourself getting your hand raised?
The truth is, I see it by 3 rounds, close fight. Man, really? I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a close fight, man. I think I'm going to edge him on punches, though. I think that I'll do more damage. I think that as far as, actually, putting these hands on each other, I think I'm going to do a lot more than he's going to do to me.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm not doubting you at all. That seems like a pretty accurate assessment of something that you're going to go out there and a performance that you're going to put on for the fans. Before I let you go, anyone that you want to thank or any sponsors you have, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Just thank my team, JMTK. Man, I've been fighting for a really long time. Shoot, I want to thank Bellator for giving me a career in this game. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a shot when – well, shoot, they was nothing too, though. That's the crazy thing. I've been with Bellator forever. So kind of an OG over there. And but, yeah, on it. Shoot, I don't know. I can't think of any of my damn sponsors right now. Venom has been taking care of me for quite a while. Butcher Box. All the meats, bro. I got some Butcher Box meat over there right now. It's just sitting on the stove ready to go. So, yeah, I don't know. Supplement World, a few of the other local stuff. A lot of people help me out. I'm just not great at remembering everybody, so that sucks.
Well, you're always a great interview. I really appreciate the time. Best of luck throughout the rest of this camp. Stay healthy. Go in there and get the win, and we'll talk again soon.
Ooh, thanks.